I was on the wrong line. I'm so sorry.
Well, it was funny because it was told me you were in another meeting, so I'm like looking back and I'm like, did I miss an email?
No, Kelly and I were just chatting away, and I was like, I think we're on the wrong line. I'm
Well, it's funny.
so sorry, you guys. That was so funny. Funny, not funny, but yeah, I need to text her.
So how?
Oh, how is everybody?
Okay, how are you?
Good.
Better, obviously
Good.
better than I am, because I'm just like, what's going on? It has been a day, let me tell you.
If that's your worst thing today, I think you're having a great day.
Yeah,
It
great.
is, whew, the rain started. It's been flooding. Like, come on, you know? Welcome back to Indiana. No snow. We've got too much rain.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
At
So
least it's not cold.
that's right. It's about 60 degrees. It's been nice today.
It has.
It's been just foggy. But
wait till Monday.
yeah, what's going to happen Monday? Is it going to snow again?
I don't know, but with Indiana, probably, I started talking to
Randy's
somebody
just a
about,
believer in positive beliefs there.
Well,
yeah. Well, I am positive that it will change. I just
Yeah,
don't know
it's supposed to
how.
be 80 degrees on Monday. That's what it's supposed to be.
oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday. It's supposed to get, well, this is Illinois. We're supposed to get an inch of rain on Tuesday. So,
Wow.
Yeah, Illinois, that's that sunshine state, isn't
no, hasn't been this week.
it?
Told me three
Oh,
three times that the meeting was over.
yeah. Well, the other one, the other line, that's why I was like, oh my gosh, we're on the I kept looking at it and I was like, why is it telling me that the mastermind starting? And I was like, but I'm on the line. There's nobody else in here. And I saw everybody kept registering, but I was like, where are they? Totally my fault. I'm on a different computer. A desktop.
Nice. There,
Yes.
that's better.
Perfect. Hello,
I'm gonna
hello.
I'm gonna need to print out the note thing again because I can't find them. I had them this morning. I don't know what I did.
And Adrienne, you're not cooking tonight. Bummer.
Dinner, what's that? I'm waiting for
Yeah.
Darren.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
What
ate. I guess you're SOL.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh. Hi, Andrew.
Good evening. Yeah, my wife just walked in. She goes, "What's going on with the meeting? There's nobody there."
we were in the wrong place.
We were in the wrong place. We're so
Story of my
sorry.
life. It's okay.
We're so sorry.
Mhm.
Glad you guys are here. Yes. Are you guys both joining us from the kitchen again?
Well, I am. She's went
Oh,
into the other room.
only you're not
She
in the
goes, "Come
car
here."
tonight. That's awesome. Well, I think we're waiting on just one more, which is
Darren's got something.
Angie Maccabee. Yes,
Mm-mm.
Darren.
No, I'm trying to fix my camera.
Oh,
There we go. I'm better.
it's all zoomed in here.
that's
Not working for me.
yeah. This is what I do for him. I'm like, look, it's closer.
It's like Sesame Street. Closer,
Yeah, further.
further.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah,
goodness.
this is why I married her. Is
Yeah.
for the continuous comedy that comes.
I love you guys. You're awesome. Um, so before we get started, I wanted to introduce somebody new to our group because she said, I want to join. I know it's in 2 weeks, but Shannon Cox is a really good friend of mine. I've known her since her kids were 11. How old are your kids now?
They'll be 32.
32. Yeah.
30. 30, yeah.
30. We've known each other a long time. And she's on our morning Bible study all the time. And Shannon, I'll let you introduce yourself because everybody hasn't met you.
She just said everything about me. I'm good. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Shannon. I'm actually in a warm state. I'm in South Carolina. And it was 80 today. But I was chained to my desk, so that didn't matter. That's about, and I have triplets, and they're going to be 30 this year. And like I said, I've known Melanie and Kelly and Mary for a long, long time, the three on here that I know.
It's awesome. And she used to live in Indiana, so
And yes, I'm originally from Indiana.
goodness gracious. All right. Okay. So here we go. Andrew, Mrs. Andrew, I know we're waiting on her to sign on. We'll we'll talk loudly. Um, your assignment for this week. Did everybody have a chance to check in with your accountability partner first? How did that go?
That guy disappeared on me. I don't know where he went to.
Oh, whatever.
Darren, were you and Randy accountability partners?
Yes, we
Yes,
were.
we
Oh
were.
my goodness, tell me about that. What happened
No.
this week?
I'll
Well,
let him go.
Randy read through my 28,000 page PowerPoint for my class next week that I built, and gave me some feedback, which was much appreciated. He participated in two networking events, and I'd have to go back and look, but met some what I thought were fairly important and influential people, which should be good
Mhm.
for his business. Yeah, so we were back and forth. I don't know, 3 or 4 times. I don't know that we did it daily, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
Good,
we're texting and emailing.
good. It's that next level, right? It's kind of like, oh, I could be accountable to myself and look at my calendar, but doesn't it feel great when somebody else is kind of challenging you to make sure that it's done?
Yeah, because I forgot till Darren's like, "Well, did you get your stuff done?" And I went, "Oh."
Right?
Thankfully, I'd done it, but I'd forgotten, that I had to let him know that I had done that. But,
Hmm. And the accountability is more about like saying, yes, I'm going forward. That's the drift to drive, right? So going
mhm.
forward instead of like, oh, just telling you what I did. Like, what do I want to do? And then making sure that you do it. That's the shift, right? That's the shift.
Yeah,
Because we can talk all day about our past, like, oh, I did this and I did this and it, but what do you need to do next? And who's going to hold you to that? Um, so that's the part of it. So, Tamara, who is your partner?
Andrew.
Okay. How'd that go?
It didn't. I'll answer that.
I didn't want to throw him under the bus, so I was like,
Oh,
how do
I'm
I
really
say
good at
this?
throwing myself.
I see Jessica laughing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Busy week, right?
Yeah, I can just say I was sharing with Tamara earlier. I said, I have been a really crappy accountability partner this week. And I said, I will commit to doing better going forward. Um, my father had had some health issues this week, and I'm not necessarily responsible for helping him, but I've been managing his health a lot. And since Monday, it's just been nonstop. So I looked up and went, oh, shoot. And that's when I shot her an email about 5 o'clock and said, I am so sorry. So,
It happens.
It
Life gets in the way. I sent Melanie an email earlier or a text earlier, and I'm like, so I haven't had time this week to do anything. Is it okay if I still come, or would you rather me not? Because I haven't held up my end of the bargain either.
hmm But that's what this is for, right? I mean, this is
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, it's Thursday again. So Chris would say it's due day. What do we do today? It's it's the day that ends in day, and it's due day. So we reset, right?
I
Um, I
also
did I did text Chris. I told him we were doing this, and so I got a little bit of a push from him about he said like, here's what I want from the group, and I was like, okay, I'll report back, right? So part of this was I think it's fun to we took our assessments And so everybody already has those. And how many of you guys scored under 31? Anybody score under 31? So how many were 31 to 45? Yeah, a lot of people. How many over 45? Okay, there you go. So it's more in the middle, but some up here at the top. So the over 45, what's the name of your wheel? Is it
The drift is real.
The Drift is Real? Yeah.
Is it what's on the front page?
Yes, because
Yep.
the middle one is Fighting for the Wheel. The Drift is Real.
Yeah, the drift is real.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So, um, I want to hear from a couple of more accountability partners. So, Mary and Shannon, were you able to hop in? I know Shannon was kind of in the middle of it saying, "Okay, what do I do?" So I
We
put her
hopped
as
on
Mary.
tonight before our class about an hour ago, and I'm like, so we hopped on this morning too. And I said, oh my God, she got the audiobook. And I'm like, oh, me too. So I got the audiobook too. So I was able to listen to it while I was still working. So I was just a little confused about, you said you had the first 2 chapters,
Yeah.
but they're not by chapters, they're by just like
Yeah.
sections.
Yes.
So did you mean 2 sections or did you mean
Yeah.
2 chapters?
2 sections. Yeah.
Oh,
so
then
we'll
I'm
only have section 3 next week? The little
Yes.
itty bitty 10 pages?
Yeah. Well, no, not just 3. You'll have more.
Okay, so then I'm way behind because I only did section 1 because there was 2 chapters in section 1. So
It's
I was
okay.
you said chapters and not sections, so I was, that
And it
black
says
and
section
white.
1, 1, 2, but I see what you're saying. I went on down and I'm down to filtering.
Yeah.
I finished filtering. I was about to start step 4 on which would be chapter 6, if that's chapters-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next
It was
next week
confusing.
is the 7.
Yes. So, yes, so the little section. So here's the thing, right? It's getting the momentum for you knowing this assessment and then starting to apply all of this. So, since we're doing this in 3 weeks, it's like, whoo, super fast condensed. However, as Chris says, let me put it in his words because this is what he said. I want you to ask the group tonight. Oops, hold on. So we already know your score. We know we talked about last week the gaps. And then I'm going to ask Andrea, Jessica, were you guys teammates or was Angie one of your teammates?
No, I was with Jessica and my car is dead. It's not
Oh.
driving anywhere. So
yeah, I'm going to join my husband with that bus. So I remember we went back and forth one time and then that's how it went.
and I
Okay.
failed.
Okay. That's okay. We gotta get some jumper cables. Right? That's all we
Yes.
have to do. Just gotta get some jumper cables. That's why we're here. That's what we do. And Adrienne, who it was yours, Angela Maccabee?
Yes.
Angie?
And we started off behind just because we were having problems that night with our report. And so then we talked a couple times on day 1 and day 2, just getting level set on what we were supposed to do. And then yesterday I was like, oh, I haven't heard from her and I haven't engaged in oops. And then it was too late, I thought, to text or email. So, and I was hoping she'd be here tonight. So I think our car, even though we're both 31 to 45s, but I think after this week, we probably just went down to the crash zone too. So, yeah.
No, that's not what it's about, right? It's about what you're doing in your life, like how you're elevating and pushing through the things that you're challenged to do. This group is really the accountability part is to help you stay on focus for that part of the accountability. But what you're drifting or driving or fighting for that wheel, it's like these personal growth plans are so important because we own them, right? Nobody else can do it for us. Nobody else can say, like, here's how you fix it. You have to take that wheel, like Chris talks about every single sentence in this book, And that's why he said it was so fun for him to write, because he really has taken every single transition and said, okay, how do I assess? Where am I? What do I need to get to that next step? Like, what's the rumble strip that's causing me the pain? What's taking me off course? How do I pull back? How do I get remotivated? And so sometimes having these opportunities to say, okay, accountability, how long did that last? And why did it not last? So reviewing, right? So what happened? Who it doesn't matter whose fault, like who didn't call each other, what didn't happen here. Kelly and I did it too. We met for a couple of days texting each other, and then it was like, oops, did we do that? Because things get busy. That's life, right? That is life. That's why we go through this cycle of feeling like, oh, we're just in this complacency model, because we just kind of get crazy. And then we're like, okay, what's scheduled? We do a Bible study every morning, and then it's like, what networking groups do you do? What commitments do you have to your job? How many days a week are you working on this? Shannon, you're working on taxes until tax season's over, right? And then you change, but it's like you get in these stages, you have all this complacency that doesn't allow you to move, to keep moving forward. Because you just kind of like, okay, this is what it is, with no other expectations. I'm going to grow into this. Great, but push yourself to that next limit, right? So Chris says, find your score. So we know our score. What is the gap that is preventing us from doing the thing that we need to be doing? So as you thought about your own scores this week, even, or reading through the chapters or reading back through your assessment, what would you say are the things that are holding you back from the reality, right? The reality of, my score says this. What's that band-aid that you pulled off? Right? Mine's the tension. It's like finding that tension between growing and making sure that it's safe to move. Because I love growth. I love new experiences. But for me, that fighting for the wheel is really focusing on the tension between the two, keeping that tension that's real. So is anybody else kind of feeling like you're, after reading, after looking at your assessment, after kind of thinking about things this week, what are you experiencing in your gap?
So I was getting ready to say the same thing, Randy. So for me, like I just started doing this today because I really am busy right this time of year. But complacency for me, just getting in the rhythm and staying in that rhythm for so many months and not getting out of it. But I feel like I've broken out of my shell a lot in the last month. So just having the time for me to do it, making the time, I guess I shouldn't say having the time, making the time, putting it in my schedule to do. I like the daily challenge that I read today. Like I said, I just started this today. So because I put it off till today.
I know.
Just saying. What's one thing I can do today that my future self will thank me for? And it says act on it before noon. So I think I'm going to put that on a post-it note. And I'm at my desk 7 days a week right now and just put it on my monitor so I can see it and to be able to do it. I don't know. That's my challenge to myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Because that's one thing, right? And so when you think about, well, if I just do that one more thing tomorrow, today, how will it feel? Because it doesn't transform us unless we do it, right? We can write it down, but unless we act on it, it doesn't change us. And so we can't think differently until we're changed. Once we're changed, once we experience the change, we see things differently. And John always talks about this. Chris always talks about it. You see more before, and then you continue to see more because you're just opening those doors. But complacency lays in our everyday life. The ones that are most consistent, that's where we're most complacent, right? Because we don't change. We don't change. Um, yes, Randy, exactly. Yes. All right, what about somebody else? What are you seeing? What's the area of where complacency is showing up the most?
She was talking about making a little note card. I actually, in my classroom, have 3 steps that I am to do every day. And my boss has seemed to notice step 1 of the 3 and is holding me accountable. So I guess that's good.
That is good. Congratulations. Right? So having somebody else recognize that, again, either in a partner in a group, or it's like, hey, this person's recognizing that I'm trying to do something different. And here's the thing, when you start to do that and you publicly say, I want to grow in this area, and people hold you accountable to it, other people start to recognize that and they get inspired by it. And then you start to think about, how can I maybe lean in, add more value, and do more? Because it just starts to give you that power, right? Chris talks about this all the time, but you put your foot on the gas and you keep going. So, yeah. Okay, who else wants to share?
I realized as I was reading it that I had taken my foot off the gas a long time ago, and that I was totally coasting for several years. In fact, more than several years, probably for a decade, because of personal illness, my husband's illness and ultimate death, and then just vegetating at home in a home that I didn't want to be in, that wasn't a good place for me. And until I moved over to where I am now and changed my circle of friends, I was vegetating. I was coasting. I wasn't doing anything. And when I read, I can't remember which chapter it was now. I think I'm on chapter 6 or 7. Uh, I realized that thanks to Mary, I've reignited a passion for something, that I have something to do again. That, I was during my first career, I guess I'd say, I was the president of a brokerage firm and certified financial planning firm, and my husband and I owned an insurance agency, and I was the president of the local financial planners organization. I would I was going and going and going and going, and we networked all the time, and then life changed. I got sick, he got sick, and I just coasted right on down. And so, I am ever so grateful to Mary and Shannon for that matter, because you both encouraged me to do the things to get some passion back in my life again. So thank you. I know you weren't my accountability partners, but you are.
But see, it takes that one step of courage
Yeah.
to fight
Yeah.
that complacency of, and I would say, and I've talked to Chris about this a lot, but complacency can turn into depression pretty
And it
quickly,
did. It did
right?
for me for a while. Yeah.
Because you
I
feel
was
like,
very
well, if
depressed
I'm
the end of
doing
my life.
everything right and consistent, why isn't it working?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the awareness of like, ooh, I'm in a deep place. I need to do and try or get somebody to help me be accountable to adding one more thing differently into it and being curious, right? That's that law of curiosity, but it doesn't have to be a big thing. It
Mm-hmm.
just has to be your thing.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Darren, what about you?
Well, you caught me with a dog in my lap.
That's okay.
Look at all these puppies.
We love puppies.
Let's see. So I can't say that I've gotten any before noon ahas, although I did started working on a sleep tracker and sleep app because I've really been struggling with that lately. And Tuesday morning at, I don't know, at 8 o'clock, it came up and said, "Hey, you're in your power zone. You should get something done." So, what Randy looked at today for 26 or 7 slide PowerPoint. I cranked out over half of it in about 2 hours while I sat in dealership waiting on my oil to get changed. Different location, no, there goes my camera, no distractions, and something to remind me that, hey, you got something to do and you should go do it. And, I really cranked in and crammed down on it. So, been doing that. And for last week, I've been working on a mindset class, and that's made quite a bit of difference as well, just in my general positivity. So,
Awesome. In Chris's framework, he talks about these 7 steps. And you may or may not have gotten to that in the book yet. And so why these 7 steps are so important, because it is about like what you see and that accountability. And it's a little bit of what we talked about last week, which is the specificity, right? So saying you're going to do something like, oh, I want to change this, but how are you going to change it? And so whether that's the time, the date, I'm going to do this on this date. I'm going to call Shannon at 2:00, right? Instead of, oh, I'm going to call a friend and I'm going to ask them a question about taxes, right? Whatever. Very specific challenges for the complacency. And that's the biggest kind of aha moment that we start to say, great, like Randy would say, I want to go to a networking group. Okay, which one, what day, what time, what's the content, who are the people, what's the influence, what's the expectation, like what result do you want from it, And so that's like the specificity. And so when you start to say, oh, I'm not just going to go, I'm going with a plan, right? Or what's my ask when I get there? I want to be known for, connected to, resourced with. And so you start to learn, like, is it an alignment, right? Because you really want to do those things that are going to push you to drive that. So, but there's so many things that, when we say it's not working, it is working, what would you change? So anybody else want to talk about where you've identified that complacency this week?
I actually did find, and it's flipping the script just a bit, but realizing that I can do more by just simply empowering a coworker to own what he started and just helping him to get it finished. And even though the others in the email chain were all like, Andrew, you're the account manager, you need to go take care of this. I'm like, no, actually I don't. I'm like, Jared, I'm happy to help, but if you need me, but otherwise I will stay in the background. And he came and found me today and he goes, thank you for letting me finish that. So just realizing that it's okay to say, nope, enough's enough. Sometimes that's just as powerful.
Yeah.
Because you give yourself the time back, right? And the attitude of, I'm helping someone else, and really thinking about, why is that important? Like, as a leader, that's kind of our role, to teach and pass on. And yet we always think, well, if it's not done right, I've got to do it all.
Yeah.
And you're under a lot of other stressors, so good for you, but that you were able to realize that. And so hang in there.
I like the part that he had talked about, like one small intentional step, like talk about like a conversation you've been avoiding, one thing you've been, what is it you needed to do that you've been putting off? And actually putting that on paper, I felt was very helpful for me to help to make that shift to drive. And why was I putting it off? Because it ended up being fine to take care of it and get it done. I'm easily distracted too. So anyway.
Hey, I'm there with you.
How did that make you feel, Mary, when you were able to do that?
Oh my goodness. I felt like it was huge. Like, I'm like, man, check that off my list. I took care of something that literally I've been putting off for a while. And I don't know why, because it literally was not scary. It wasn't like anything. I mean, it was super simple commitment, a change in my routine, just a small little, like one was a phone call, a conversation I'd been avoiding. Not sure why, because there's nothing wrong with wasn't going to be a bad conversation. That's not it at all. But it's like,
Mhm.
why was I avoiding that? Why could I not put, the rubber to the road? Because I feel like I was just kind of like, whatever with everything as every one of us and everyone else has going on. And then finally doing it, I'm like, okay, I know what the disruption was. I did my inventory. Now here's these small action steps. And I felt like it just really, a light bulb went on. And having that on an audiobook, and I'm in the car so much, was super, super helpful and fun. So I lit a new passion I never knew I had, is listen to audiobooks.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And I
Because
realized after one of his chapters that I can listen to it faster.
Yeah. And his voice, I love that. Great guy.
Yeah. I mean, I had it at 1.5 today instead of 1, and it was just fine. I heard it all.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
just an add on that, because I listen to most everything, but I've I go back with the book. I own the book and the audiobook on most everything that I listen to.
Me too.
And I go back later when I'm driving. I'll go back with my highlighter and go find those areas. I just listened to Craig Groeschel's latest book, and there was some real deep stuff there that I'm glad I went back and just listened to again and found it and made note of it.
So that I love this observation, because sometimes it's that little conversation, right? Sometimes it's with ourselves, and it's so important, because if we get it out, if we're thinking about it, we write that thing down that we need to do. Now we speak it out loud and we make it happen. And you're right, it may not be something that's going to be a negotiation or a conflict, but you just need to do it. And we just feel like, oh, well, we'll get to it. Oh, we can get to that. We can take care of that. And yet when we push it forward, it takes it out of our mind space so that it can free up what we really need to do. And that's kind of what, as you were talking, that's that specificity of, I like, have that one conversation at this time. At 12 o'clock on Friday, I'm going to make this phone call and make and talk about this that we need to get done, and move this forward.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I did, giving it back to this person. I was like, okay, so I'm going to send you time I have on Saturday and Sunday. I need you to bring these things to me, and then let's hammer this down and get going. Like, she's been kind of putting it off. I've been kind of putting it off just because of life. And I was like, okay, now I've told you, I've sent the text. It's up to you to respond and tell me what time frame works for you. And that's my time with you to do these things. So that helps, because normally I'm just like, woo, I kind of like a free spirit, I guess.
That specificity on this it's huge. And so that's what I really want to encourage you to do. And like Chris would say, what's the thing that's getting in your way of the biggest things that you're trying to achieve on an everyday schedule?
Fear.
Right. Fear. Okay. Talk about that, Randy.
Well, I mean, I'm even trying to change my routines. A long time ago, I was at a much better place, and I let life get crazy. And in reading this, I'm like, wow, I just didn't even realize some of this. But in changing the routines, I'm trying to force myself to go back and read my purpose statement every day, to try and begin the day with that. If I can realize that, then the things that are scary to me, and all of this is scary because I'm making a huge, I'm trying to make a huge shift. I'm used to working full time in healthcare, and I'm trying to shift away from that and go out there and help people with the workshops that I'm doing. So I hesitated contacting, it's called the Reform Alliance, and they've asked me to join their coalition after I spoke with them last week. And I put it off and put it off and put it off. And it's because I'm like, well, I don't really know that much about it. So I forced myself to go out and do my research and learn more about what this is about. Do our values align? Does my message align with what they're trying to do? And it's like, okay, we can do this. And then again, force myself out of my comfort zone, not only with the networking meetings that we're doing, but I look at what Rotary's got coming up for speakers, and I'm like, is there a connection there that can be made? And I made a connection this week that I would have never dreamed. It was somebody that's doing research in DNA and sequencing and all of that. And what they're doing is they're trying to help parents, that are in utero. Is the child going to have any problems? Did they go through a loss or anything like that? And again, see how my values align with theirs. And they're talking to me as well. This is scary, 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 because it's like I feel like that trapeze artist that doesn't have a net under them right now. And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, it's really hard because when you're in a corporate job or any job, right? We don't say corporate, but just you have a job, you have a job description.
Yeah.
Someone has a plan for your day. They have a plan for your time. They have a plan for your promotion. They have a plan for your pay raise. They have a plan
Mhm.
for everything.
They control everything.
And you don't. You just
Yeah.
show up and you're like, okay, I hope I'm doing a good job. I want feedback. I want somebody to recognize me and reward me for what I feel like I'm putting in the time versus the effort. Is that accountable, right? Well, yes. And we do it for year after year after year after year after year because we start to have bills. We start to have a life. We start to have a routine. We start to have complacency, right?
Yeah.
So
I see what
true.
Darren typed in there. And Darren, just
Yeah,
just so you know, I am in drive, but most people that are in drive either have a 4-speed or a 5-speed transmission. I'm a semi. I've got like 16 or 18 gears, so I crawl slow.
Good.
but then when
Good.
you start to shift, even if you're in that normal job, right? Teaching, administration,
Mhm.
nursing, like Mary does a lot of stuff with her patients, and yet we say, "Great." How do we then say, but it's about my growth, right? We can show up and still be a compliant employee. That's
Well,
okay.
and I think one of the important things he had in here that was relevant to me, you have to be careful of being complacent at speaking because uh, I mean, I'm going back to where he asked Maxwell. I don't remember where they were. They were in South Africa or something anyway. And he asked that group for feedback. And it's like, wow. But it's because if we don't have someone to hold us accountable, yeah, we can drift because life is comfortable. We get comfortable in it. And when we are comfortable, just like he was with the speaking, I've done this time after. I don't need to read my notes. I've
Right.
done this. I don't need to worry about how the audience is going to interact. I've done this. I know the speech backward, forward. I've got this. And then you run into issues. And then those issues cause other things that you're not even aware of.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow. And you have to try and steer yourself back to center. So
And
it's
then you
just a
start
different.
focusing on yourself instead of your audience.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Because you're, really in the essence of it, you've just kind of gotten like you're immune to it. You've done it, but you're not really providing it for your audience anymore. You're just kind of
Yeah.
doing it because you've memorized it. It's easy, right? You're just kind of drifting through instead of really putting the energy back into like every little thing that you do.
Yes. And again, I think it really depends on what we do, but someone else was speaking earlier about they've got like 4 or 5 different things that they've got going on. And yeah, we have to be careful or it'll overwhelm us and we find that we are drifting, so to say, or complacent in those areas, and we don't even realize it. It's because we've done those things for so long. We have our patterns, we have our routines, and we think that we've done so good. And again, we don't even realize on the other end. And that's part of what happened. I realize that now with where I left. And it wasn't me per se, it was my entire team because we were specialized, we knew what we were doing, and we just took it for granted.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, you guys think you're so great. We were, but It is what it is. I didn't
Yep.
realize even in some of that. And part of my drift is because, like the person earlier, all the things that you don't know all, but several of the things, from being involved in community, the Santa Claus stuff, and working with the Toastmasters group, and doing work, and then other things that we have going on. Life just became overwhelming, and then you're just kind of like, I'll just show up.
Yep.
I'll just show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. If I show up, it's better than not showing up, right?
It's a body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they know me. So from what Chris says in the text here, he's like, okay, so the challenge for us this week is, where do you need to rebuild or refocus? Like he says in this, I think in our chapter books on chapters, page 7, declaring the disruption.
Yeah. I ripped that page out and set it on fire, so I don't even remember what it said.
So he says we need to declare our disruption this week.
Yeah.
So we all need a disruptive statement. So that's what I want us to work on here for the next.
Okay, let's make sure we understand. A
Okay.
disruptive statement. What is disrupting us, or
I can build this again. So,
okay.
yep. So it's step 2, right? So declare
Yep.
your disruption. Write down a personal version of this phrase. I can build this again. So what would you say? Like, I want to do that again. I want to do it differently. The area I must need to rebuild, refocus, or reignite is.
Okay.
And this is your personal statement, right? So after kind of feeling, reading, discussing, having some accountability, like, because this is supposed to ignite you and get you to the point where you're like, if I have accountability to this, if I can be more specific in the growth, if I were able to, duplicate this, hey, what if I go from 1 mile an hour on this activity and taking this kind of action? What if I could, what if I could go 2 miles an hour and do this, right? So the law of duplication, if you will, but it's to start that momentum. So Mary, what if you had 2 of those calls that you were avoiding, right? Randy, what if you made 2 of those types of commitments to 2 different groups that you wanted to reach out to, right?
You would probably be in the hospital from a panic attack.
But that's where you say, that's how you fight complacency. So what he texted me and said, okay, what's the ignition disruption for this week? Like, that's what week 2 is about. And so how are you going to turn that on so that you can say, okay, I tried something. I tried that one thing. Andrew, I gave that task to that employee and it was great. It felt great. How do I do that again intentionally, as John Maxwell would say? Right? So now you've taken your little toe out of the water. And so, Jessica, you're getting that one thing that you're accountable to. So how would it feel if you have 2 things that you're being held accountable to from him? And it doesn't have to be a big thing, but it's building that bridge, right? It's building that layer of trust, of mentorship, of that relationship with whoever that other person is that's in your life every single day that's keeping you focused on that growth. It could be a client, right? Somebody that you need to inspire or motivate on your team. It could be a friend, that you're trying to help through something. But from igniting, building, rebuilding, refocusing, what would you say your personal, so I want you to work on this for a few minutes, the area I most need to rebuild, refocus, or reignite so that you can build faster, right? So it worked. I want to make it faster. I want to duplicate that effort. I'm going to give you like 3 minutes. Think about this, write this down. Your disruption statement.
And you said the area I most need to rebuild something and ignite. What was that second one?
Refocus or reignite.
Okay.
You have the workbook. It's on page 7 of the workbook.
Yep. Page 7. Step 2.
Mickey, get out the way. Your mom's got to work.
You know, my cat's sitting on
Time.
everything.
But page 7, because I actually did this thinking it was supposed to be due for tonight. So I kind of.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's
Okay.
because we really want to focus on this because you found the one thing, right? The one
Yeah.
thing that's working that you're recognizing. And so how do we make that happen again and again to fight the complacency? So
Yeah, then I have the things down for the step 3. I wrote down things next to the conversation, commitment, brave decision, those things.
awesome. Perfect. As we're playing right along. You're an A student, Mary.
You know me, overachiever.
I know. It's so good. Okay, about another minute. So I love that Randy said fear, because when I think about Chris as another faith-based mentor, he really makes it the value of knowing what your gift is, right? And he's really found his gift in being a great business leader, a great coach, a great mentor to many people. But when you step into what God really has designed for you and you don't do it, it's a lot of fear first, right? Because you're not utilizing those gifts. But how he puts it is, how are you maybe not stewarding using those gifts to drive your life? And so that's why we want to have this disruptive conversation with ourselves. And that's like, what am I really committed to? Why am I hiding? What am I fearing? What am I lacking? And to keep each other accountable to taking that next step, because that next step pushes you through to the other side. And it is scary. It's very scary
You're
because
exposing yourself.
you are exposing yourself. But I want to go around here in these next 6 minutes, and I just want to, this is how I want to close this out tonight, because your accountability partner is going to keep you accountable to the one step to make this disruptive statement happen for you this week.
Mhm.
So I'll start, Kelly.
Okay.
The area that I most need to rebuild, refocus, or reignite is the system for my business. Craig Rochelle says, great people are only as great as the level of their systems. And I
Mhm.
fail in many ways of the back end of the things that I need to be conscious about, because it really prevents me. I work so hard on things that I keep doing over and over and over that it only really needs to be done one time, right?
Mhm.
So I have plans for it. I just need to implement it. So that's what
Mhm.
this week is about for me. All right. Hot seat. Kelly, you're next.
Okay, so what I need to rebuild, refocus, ignite is to get clarity and direction on what I want, and then to create an action plan with doable steps to take daily to grow my business, and then monitor weekly to assure that I'm on track to meeting my sales and financial goals. That's number one. I have others that I could write that for too, as far as my health and things like that, but that's my big one.
Okay. I'll keep you accountable to that.
Mhm.
Excellent. Okay. Jessica. Oh,
I'll go on her place till she gets
okay.
herself unmuted.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I think she just froze too from the looks of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think
anyway,
she is frozen.
I had Darren and Adrienne had usually challenged me to just writing down what come to mind first on some of the other things we've done. And at the top, I wrote, I'm usually the disruptor. And it's not it's sometimes it's fun and most of the time it's not too. So a lot of times I've got to get out of my own way. And I put down one of the things this week's kind of just reinforced for me is getting more organized to better help. I put Jess and Anna and I put first underneath that and then mom and dad second underneath there. Just to keep the main thing the main thing. And then at the bottom, I just wrote go from say to do and circled that.
Mhm.
Because that's
Excellent.
probably one of my biggest struggles that Jessica could tell you is I say a lot of things and don't always get most of them done. So,
Yeah. You know, if you just do one thing, right? If you just do the one thing you say you're going to do, that's the confidence that you build, and then you're like, okay, I did that. That
mhm.
that's really, and then the reward, right? So that's evaluating and reflecting and making sure that when you're keeping yourself accountable to it, say, yay, great, chocolate shake. or whatever that reward is. That's the key to keep going and doing the little thing, the little thing. So awesome. All right. Thank you. Jessica, did you?
Sorry about that.
It's
I went to
okay.
go to my notes and I'm like, oh, everybody
Oh, it's
disappeared.
fine. It's fine.
Okay, so mine is just very fresh. I need to kind of revamp my own personal system in terms of how I deal with parents of students who, to be frank, tear up my classroom, throw items, break things. They're not held accountable. They don't apologize. Again, it's just really fresh. So I need to realign myself to make sure that I'm coming to work the next day, pretending like nothing happened and not ignoring it, but have to ignore it so I can start fresh the next day and not hold the grudge against the family.
Wow. Yeah, that's hard.
That would be very
Yes.
difficult for me. And I know it would be for Shannon also, because she and I are the kind of people that as soon as something happens, it shows in our face.
Mhm.
Yes. I have worked, this is like year 20 of this gig. So younger me could handle this much better than older me is actually. Older me is over it. I'm like, get yourself together so you can get back to class. I think that really is ultimately the struggle as I'm older now and this is not my first rodeo.
Yeah. Well, when you know more, you want people to do better, right?
Yeah.
That's you hold them to that level of your expectation. And John would say, well, we have to meet people where they are. And so how do you do that and encourage them to grow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Okay. Checking in with you. All right. Adrienne.
So I I wrote that I need to prioritize my energy in the right place. So I have a full-time job committed to working for somebody else, and my standards for myself and how things should be done, I feel are like triple that of most of the people I work with. And so I put in the extra effort. I do eat lunch, Jessica, but it's been a 10-minute lunch instead of the half hour I'm supposed to take by time card standard. And um, I just, I'm trying to figure out like, how do I get past my need for getting things done right to, and not get complacent and be like, ah, it's done good enough. Because everybody I work with is that way. And then things go to shit. And you need answers right away, and I feel like I need to be prepared to answer those. So I put a lot of energy in here, and the best thing about the job is at 4 o'clock I'm on a time card and I can sign out and just walk away and say it's the next day. But I mean, I worked until 6:05 tonight. Um, Partly because I'm trying to earn some comp time too. So, but there's stuff that needs to be done, and it's like 70% of my day is committed to somebody else, and my standards are high enough that it just drains me. So when I do turn and focus and I try to work on our company and our next steps, it's just like, all right, what is the priority? There's things I'm committed to. I'm probably definitely overcommitted, but I just feel like my energy is going to the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. I get it. We should talk offline. I get it.
yeah. If Darren would just win the lottery so I could retire from my job and go have fun in the company I want to build with him,
Yeah.
like that would be great.
Yep.
So,
Less effort, less expectation of your daily 70%, right? And then you
it's
have more
hard.
energy. It is hard because we want to do well. And how are we going to do well if we're not doing well, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yep, I get it.
Yeah.
Hang in there. Hang in there. Just be committed to recognizing, right? You've got
Yeah.
an awareness now, so you need to Make it right for you. Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. All right. Mary, I'm going to go to you next.
Okay. So the personal version of the phrase, I can build this again. I put, I will rebuild and strengthen my team with purpose. I'll lead with faith, serve others well, and stay committed to the vision placed in my heart. Show up consistently, pour into my people, and build leaders who build others.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And you're doing it.
Well, showing up consistently is the part I'm working on as I'm unspreading myself so thin, slowly by slowly.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So you're going to find some systems that are going to work for you and your team, right?
Yeah, I have, and I've been doing like the commitment, a change to daily routine. I, put that down, that related to the business and the system that's already in place. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It is done and it's printed out and it's being check marked every day that it's happening. So it's being done. Now, last night I think I finished at 11:45 at night. But it was done before the day ended. That's just the time I had. So same thing tonight when I get done with this, and I'll spend a couple hours doing that stuff and mark that stuff off my list and not go to bed till it's done. Cause now I know I've got to hold myself. I know I said I'm going to do this. So now I've got to do these.
Yep. And it's a trade-off, right? You start to give up other things that you're like, oh, I thought that was important, but now this is really a focus of importance, right?
Yes.
Because you're going to get more reward in the end for the decision that you make to transform the things that you're committed to.
Yeah.
That's because it's purposed, right? It's something that God's put in your heart to make sure that it gets done.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Shannon, then Darren, Randy, and we're going to end with you, Tamara. All right. Smile. Have joy.
Yes, joy is my word of the year.
Yes.
So I'm just starting on this today, y'all, because I just am. So, but a couple things. Hold myself accountable because I'm kind of with Mary. I'm like, oh, I can put that off till tomorrow, which is not like me. I'm not that kind of person. So I need to hold myself more accountable. And I don't feel like I need to also, I'm one of those people that has to have things done. So I feel like I've got to respond right away. If somebody needs something, I'm right there to respond. Like, I just have that. That's my personality. I also have a job where I clock out and I don't get paid if I don't clock in. And I can tell you I'm on that computer checking to make sure my clients are taken care of. Even off the clock, just in case they have a question, I'm there to answer. That's just who I am. I want to be there for them. So, and then when it comes to my personal life, I do my business first. So on my personal side, I need not to wait until crunch time. I need to get things done early. And I need to put family first. So, God first, then family, and worry about work later. It's just a hard time of year for me right now. So I just got to reprioritize things right now.
Yep. But saying it out loud makes you feel like, okay, I'm thinking about it, right? I'm going to do something about it. Yep. Good for you. Good for you. All right, Darren, leading up the charge.
I'm going to boil this down, but I'm going to give you the whole thing afterwards. So the area I most need to refocus on is cadence and rhythm in my life is the boiled down version. But this is actually something a phrase I wrote last week, and it's written on our bathroom mirror. I build discipline through small promises kept. I gain clarity by taking action. I focus on what I can control. Rejection is information, not my identity. I'm not behind. I am building. Today, I choose progress, courage, and consistency. So
good.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes, I love it. Thank you. Feels good to say that, doesn't it?
yeah, now if I just had it memorized to be better. I keep changing. I keep tweaking it a little bit. So
You will, you'll get it. But then when you start to do it, it's like that can be your elevator pitch, right? This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I believe. This is what I am creating. Yeah. Awesome. All right, Mr. Randy, and then Tamara. Thank you guys for hanging in there.
Sure. Mine is that I've got to refocus on purpose, and serving. And I've got to take as well as routines. And I've got to take focus away from self-sabotage. So I'm pretty bad about that. And like Darren, I have mine written out. It's right here. And when I say I've got to stick to purpose, and I self-sabotage because I started doing this before, but the purpose of my life is to create hope, foster dreams, encourage creativity, and support my fellow human on their life's journey. So to try and live that out however I can, and that's why you hear me with those speeches.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And Darren, it took a while for me to get that right too. I rewrote that about 5 times. So it's all good, man.
It's all good. Just keep crafting it, right? And the thing is, I heard somebody, well, Tiffany Bova said this from Live to Lead, but she believed certain things about herself. And it's when people started telling her what they believed, how she
Yeah.
helped them. That's when she started really crafting, like, oh, John Maxwell says, I'm a great communicator. Okay. She didn't say she was a great communicator. Somebody else told her that.
Yeah,
So
and
when
that's why
you're,
your network is so important, Melanie, because I'm sure all of us have had negative messaging as we've gone through life. And that's hard to change unless you change the network. It's just like changing the channel. So am I
yep,
going to take the negative? Am I going to replace it with the positive, or am I going to continue to wallow around? And we also, one of the things I talked about self-sabotage, and I looked it up while someone else is talking. I had to remind myself because I work sometimes in spiritual areas, I guess you would say. But when I question my abilities, I got to go back and I got to remember Moses. There was 5 things that Moses told at least 5 times he told him he couldn't do it. He was slow to speak. He had lack of confidence, all these things. And Moses wasn't the only leader in the Bible that really questioned, are you sure you're putting the right person in the place for this?
mm-hmm,
And I think that's with all of us and what we do. And sometimes we feel that. Are you sure? And
yep,
we step back. And that's where sometimes self-sabotage will come in because I'm like, I'm not that person. I'm
I
not
yeah.
think we all
promised.
feel that way at times.
We
Yeah.
do. Because what if
Yeah.
it did work, right? Then you'd be like, well, how did that work? Because God was on your side. That's how it worked.
Yeah, but
Because
then
he
you run into
crafted you
that,
for
that
it.
that flip side of that. There's 2 sides that I've heard people talk about. You have a fear of failure, and then if things are going right, you have a fear of, oh my gosh,
Success.
it's working out. I don't
Yes.
know what
Now
to do
what?
next.
Right? Now what? Now what's it going to
Yeah,
make me do?
yeah. So you get kind of caught in a quandary. You don't know, is it right? Is it wrong? Because
Yep.
I don't know what to do next when it's going right. And
Yep.
then again, you start questioning everything, and you can talk yourself out of a lot of things. I have.
Yes, we can. Every day. Every
Yeah.
day we do. We have those choices, right?
Hmm.
Ugh.
Sorry, I
All
took
right.
too much time.
Tamara, we're going to close off on you and thank you for being patient. And I know we
No
started a little bit
worries.
late. I apologize for that, but yes.
No worries at all. The area I most need to rebuild, refocus, and reignite is I wrote down discipline. So I actually find for me, my complacency comes when I'm not disciplined. And it's this right here is the biggest problem. This past week, I actually when I get into depressive and complacency, I tend to play games on my phone.
Mm.
And so I actually uninstalled the games that were really sucking my time. With that said, I'm like everybody else. I work a full-time job. I have a business that is actually thriving. And I'm getting ready to start teaching a class with the university that I teach for on the side. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get it all done. I will, but it's like, it's starting to stress me out a little bit. But I'm going to have to be very disciplined over the next couple of months.
It's awesome. Those are great strategic accountability, right? So it's like I know why I need to do this. So
Yeah.
Well, that's where an accountability partner can really help you too. If you can find somebody, I've found in times like that, don't go to family and don't go to friends.
Oh
Find
no.
a stranger, say just like this group. Can you hold me accountable just to check in and see if I'm really doing this?
yep.
I know
I
how
love
that is.
yeah, I love my husband to death. He is not a good accountability partner for
Yeah.
me. Because he's like, "Oh, it's okay that you didn't do that." Like he does what I expect my spouse to do, but he doesn't he lets me get my way and doesn't hold me accountable for what I need to be held accountable for.
I think most spouses do.
Yeah, it's
Mine did the same thing.
Yeah.
And yet
Unless
I
he
was
you,
still
just
did everything I wanted to do.
I
Mhm.
was just going to say I'm not a very good accountability partner either, Tamara. So
well, but we all have life going on, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I just wrote
Exactly.
notes.
that's the
So
reality is we have life happening and life is happening right now.
100%.
It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's happening right now.
Right.
So it's critical that we just kind of give ourselves grace in a lot of this of like, okay, we can do our best. We can
Mhm.
try to say this is what my disruption goal is. And when I was in medical device sales for many years, we always, what I loved about it was we always said disruptive technology. And it was
Mhm.
like, oh, that's scary. Well, but it's different, right? It's doing something different than anybody else. And what we know disruption is for us is how do we push ourselves so that we kind of create that rumble strip that makes us go, okay, I got to pay attention to this. Get rid of that app on that phone. Organize your time, make a commitment, make sure that you're in the right rooms in the right circles, saying no to those things that are getting in your way, encouraging and mentoring people, having somebody keep you accountable, like all of these things, structuring your time, giving yourself permission. When you do that, it changes the game because you start to transform how you feel and the confidence builds
Mhm.
because you made that decision to do it. Nobody else told you you have to do it this way. So, um, excellent.
Oh wow.
Yay, Shannon. Yay. All right. Okay. So next week, read section 3.
All
So
seven
that would
steps.
be the rest of the book. Um, but as Chris says, right? So here's his note from for us for this week is what are you going to do? He said disruptive question is now what are you going to do? So we've all kind of given that commitment to each other. This is what we want to be disruptive in. This is our statement. This is what we're going to try to do for next week. And it's just a process, right? It takes for a long time. It's not just one time you're going to do this. But this one thing that you're trying, that you're wanting to be accountable for, that you're going to try to be different in, that you want to change to, accountability partners, let's buckle back up and try as we can, text or email so that we can make sure for every day until next Thursday that we can help each other grow, right? Just help each other grow. And Adrienne, let me know if Angie isn't available for some reason and we'll get you, I'll be your extra partner. All right. Um, you guys are doing awesome. Thank you for staying on here just a few minutes after. Sorry about that mix up on the line. I won't do that next week. I promise.
Tamara, you,
Oh,
Tamara, you motivated me too. I just took the games off my phone.
Wow.
there you go.
Like that. Wow.
There's your
That's
And
big.
accountability partner.
That's huge.
Hold each other
And I hadn't
accountable.
even thought about that as being a problem, but it has been.
I didn't
Well,
either. That was things. But I have an
Yeah.
8:15 meeting, so I gotta go.
Okay. Hey, real quick, say everybody, just say thank you, Chris. All
Thank
right.
you, Chris.
1,
Thank
2, 3.
Thank
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 you,
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 Chris.
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 All right, awesome. I'll send that to him. You guys are awesome. I'll see you next Thursday. I'll be sending you some emails through the week. And Kelly, we're accountability. And thanks for all you guys are doing to grow. This is so fantastic to see you guys change and transform your lives. See
Everybody
you
have a
next
good week.
Thanks,
Thursday.
Mel. See you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.